This is going to be another video on analyzing the verses of Jesus. This is not a Christian video. It's a video on understanding what Jesus teaches, interpreting Jesus. So we're going to go someplace different with it here. My name is Dan Paulson. Welcome to the video. You're welcome to view. When I get done with these verses, there's going to be something mentally interactive, not simply something to worship. And in this verse right here, it's a very pivotal one to me in my life. It was one that had been actually, when I do the interpretation, I'll tell this story. I'll simply say right now that it was several years that this verse was coming to me, and I didn't know what it was. There's a mystery to this one. This verse right here in Luke chapter 7, verse 47, was one that became incredibly important to the knowledge for me on healing. Okay, and though I have adopted this from the King James Version, I have modified the verbiage to sound pretty plain language for an easy read for us. One of the Pharisees wanted Jesus to eat with him, so he went to the Pharisee's house and sat down to eat. While he was there, a sinner woman from the city learned that Jesus was there and brought an alabaster box full of ointment. She stood at his feet, behind him, weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears, and then dried them off with the hairs of her head. She kissed his feet and anointed them with the ointment. When the Pharisee who invited him observed this, he said quietly to himself, "If this man was a prophet, he would know who and what kind of woman this is who touches him, for she is a sinner." Jesus, reacting to him, said, "Simon, I have a question for you." And Simon replied, "What, Master?" Jesus continued, "There was a certain creditor who had 2 debtors. One owed him 500 pence, and the other owed him 50. But when they had nothing to pay, he nevertheless forgave them both. So tell me, in your view, which one of them will love him the most?" Simon answered and said, "I suppose the one that he forgave the most." And Jesus said to him, "Yes, you are correct." And turning to the woman, he asked Simon, "Do you see this woman? I came into your house and you didn't give me water for my feet, but she washed my feet with her tears and wiped them with the hair of her head. You gave me no kiss, but this woman has not ceased to kiss my feet since the time that I came in. You did not anoint my head with oil, but this woman has anointed my feet with ointment. Hear this then. I tell you, her sins, which are many, are all forgiven, for she loved much. But to those who little is forgiven, they love little." And he said to her, "Your sins are forgiven." All right, so for me, again, there's going to be something mentally interactive when I get done. There's a block right there that leads to it. It's not just that one 747, although that's what I'm looking for. What does 747 mean? But I think you have to kind of use the others to get there. So I'd love to hear your interpretation. I will put mine on a future video. And but for the most part, I know that this stuff really, I've learned that you have to kind of figure it out on your own. When people tell you what the answers are, you don't process it. In antiquity, that's why they would tell you something cryptic. What's the meaning of life? They wouldn't tell you what the meaning of life is. They start asking you questions. You're like, oh my God, But that's because you're supposed to figure it out. If they just tell you the answers, it doesn't really work. So you got to wire your brain with it. All right. I would love to hear your own interpretations below. And after gathering up a few, I'll go ahead and make a reply. Okay. Thanks. See you in the next video.